Okay, and we're live. And I just got a text from AIDzee who should be joining us soon. So g'day, Fox of Fate, Heist, RC, nice to see you. Rocking and rolling, we go along. And just gotta get one or two little bits of technicality happening. And hey there, Phil, how you going? And Justin, hello to you as well. Right, I'm just trying to get a few things in order and make it all happen. I just need to send someone a message. All right. And just potentially finding out some bad news. I just said to yes, I see the garden does look fecund. All right. That's actually that's like ivy growing over the fence from the neighbour's part. There's some flowers Mrs. Angry picked. But yes, it's pretty fecund. And hey, Musically Aviator, how are you going? Yes, you should be able to see the garden for, I don't know, half an hour, and then the light will be gone. So that time of year, we're about a month away from the longest day, I think. So yeah, we're at the time of year where it's still daylight when I start these streams. See, the ivy is beyond fecund. It's out of fecund control. That's me trying to be funny. And Megalich, how you going, buddy? Has anyone seen The Mandalorian yet? I haven't. I don't have Disney Plus yet. I probably will get it just for The Mandalorian. But in honor, I'm drinking blue milk. So, have they had blue milk on The Mandalorian yet? They seem to want to bring blue milk into as many Star Wars movies as they can. And thus far, The Mandalorian is getting a positive feedback, which is nice. Goddamn, Phil, 38 in Horsham. Dang. Yeah, tomorrow and Thursday is meant to be like 35 in Melbourne, then it's dropping down to about 20. Adele, you're getting Disney on the weekend. I don't know when I'll get it, but it was like what it's not $9 or $10 a month. And for The Mandalorian alone, because I would have got that like as a box set on disc if streaming services didn't exist. And you know, where you pay $50 for a season of a TV show, $40 or $50 anyway, at least. And so yeah, you know, that's 4 or 5 months of Disney Plus subscription, and then I can decide if they have anything else I want to watch or kill it. I like that. Music Aveda, they haven't had blue milk yet, but they did have a roast salacious crumb. Yeah. And a baby Yoda. Everyone loves baby Yoda. And yes, we know Yoda is an individual's name, not a species name, but we don't know what species Yoda was. It's never been mentioned. Oh, God, some hardcore nerd will probably tell me in the expanded universe novels the Yoda race was mentioned, but people have just seen the movies and whatnot. They've never mentioned it. So yes, of course, we're all calling the little cutie baby Yoda Fox because I'm further west. The sun hasn't gotten past me yet. Well, yeah, you can go with the meridians, and Melbourne is further west than Sydney. So, I mean, that's someone who knows the science of such things. I tell you, I mean, actually, it'd be relatively easy. I could just look it up. I'm going to go, what time is sunset in Sydney? 7:40. That early, really? Melbourne, 8:14. My God, that's like half an hour. We get half an hour more sunshine. That's really surprising. Yeah, so that's like half an hour. Actually, Bolivia's getting scary. Oh, just because there was an extreme right-wing military coup. Yeah. Hong Kong getting scary. Ooh, they're like killing students now, aren't they? That, man, civil disobedience on a really significant scale. The way they superglued all those obstructions onto the road. What is AIDzee telling me? All right, I'll tell him to calm down. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted. AIDzee's stressing and I'm telling him not to stress, and I'm getting some other news that's not great. So yes, we've got Hong Kong getting scary. Bolivia, Chile has been scary for a while. It's the world is rising up. The underclass of the world, and again, there's a lot of the things. There's no real connection between them. Certainly not politically or whatnot. But you look at uprisings, Hong Kong, Chile, Bolivia is the opposite of an uprising. It's a fucking right-wing military coup. But where else is in Lebanon? Where else is having little uprisings? Several places. Anyway, it is the season for uprisings, apparently. So there's a turn up for the books. So it's interesting what you say about neoliberalism, because I have seen people make the observation that neoliberalism essentially started in Chile. It looks like it's going to end there as well. Yeah, so I think what was the line the people in Chile were using about why they're motivated to rise up, says we're not coming from the left, we're not coming from the right, we're coming from the bottom. They're just saying, like, your traditional concepts of political motivations, like, are you right wing or left wing, isn't what's motivating us. Us being an underclass and being oppressed is what is motivating us, and we've had enough. And of course, it's very different in Hong Kong. The people in Hong Kong protesting are comparatively affluent. Well, from comparatively to very affluent, but they're really not keen on the idea of being subjugated by China, being under the control of China. And of course, China is very much into the idea that they control Hong Kong and get to do whatever they like. That's the gross one, because you've seen the tankies defending the totalitarian Chinese regime because they're communist, and the people in Hong Kong are very much more capitalist, and so they've gone just on lines like, well, I support communism and reject capitalism, so I'm going to be a tanky and fucking support a violent, repressive, totalitarian regime. And yowza, it was not that long ago I had the term tanky explained to me, because I didn't know what it was. My lovely dame, hello to you. Morning. What time is it in your part of the world? Just on 10 past 8 in the evening here. Still daylight. Okay, that thing AIDzee and I always talk about, the mirroring thing. I had the wrong hand up there. Still daylight behind me. As we just found out, Melbourne gets fully half an hour more sunshine than, well, not half an hour more, but the sun sets half an hour later. And again, someone who knows the science better might be able to answer, is that consistent over the year, like about 35 minutes, or different lengths of day is the nightfall sooner or later? I don't know. Intuitively, I feel like it would stay the same, because it's about the Earth's rotation. It will happen earlier in winter, but the time lapse will be the same. But I'm open to the idea that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and someone who did actually know that sort of thing might be able to explain, like, no, the light actually goes sooner. But my initial thought would be it'd be the same all year. Oh yeah, Fox, I'm with you. Like, I'm definitely a raving loony left, but fuck totalitarians who call themselves communists. If you're an oppressor, you're an oppressor. 10 a.m., my lovely dame. Well, good morning to you. And Adele's getting motivated to get up and feed the cat. I'm sure thing. Oh, poor Charlie. It's only 7 for you because you're in Queensland. Yes, I agree. Daylight savings. I actually really like it. Like, there's always people that it's useless. Why does it exist? It's dumb. I like the day being longer in summer, and I guess if you didn't swap it back in winter, it would still be dark at night. I'm just adding add a little bit of leftover Sprite, adding to my blue milk. It's clearly not milk. Some fruit juices. Stir that in. Very hygienic. Yeah, I quite like daylight saving. Getting all the extra daylight in summer. When kind of motivated to go out. Not that I've gone out in the evening since daylight saving. I don't think. I do. There are times I would go like for a walk with Mrs. Andrew. Go for a walk around the park that's near us, which is quite nice. Because we're old and we do things like go for walks in the park. And but yeah, I really quite like it. And I think, oops, I think I see an AIDzee. Where is he? There he is. There he is.
Entering the broadcast studio and enunciating. Fuck, I'm on. Hello, how are you? Hello, everyone. Shit, didn't expect to be on.
Oh well, I saw you there, so yeah, there you are.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I was hoping to be on, and I was getting ready to get on, and I'm on, and that's a beautiful thing. And I'm sorry I'm late, but you know why? And I didn't think I'd be late. But I am. Yes. A sticky situation, shall we say.
Oh.
So what are we celebrating today, Angry?
Well, it's hard to decide which is the more meaningful, because apparently
it's World Toilet Day! Hey! It's my funnest day of the year! It's the day of the year where my father, a plumber, and I get to bond over the porcelain of righteousness.
Have you sent him a message?
What's that?
Have you sent him a message? Oh, he probably doesn't know. You probably should tell him.
My old man.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Once my old man said that he was at a expo, because the plumbers have expos every 3-4 years, and he goes to all of them because he's into tech.
Yeah.
He's the first plumber in Canberra to use plastic pipe for water service, not just for drainage, but for inlet pipe. And everybody said, oh, it won't catch on, it's fucked, it's going to burst and everything. Because it doesn't burst, it's actually great. In Canberra in the winter, it goes to -8 regularly. And at -8, the pipes freeze and they burst. And plumbers rub their hands together the night before going, I'm going to make a fucking fortune tomorrow. And they do. And basically the plastic pipes don't burst. And they keep on carrying on. And as long as they're not in the daylight, which, I mean, they're buried in the fucking ground or in the walls or underneath the house or in the roof, they don't degrade and they stay good for 100 years. The houses only last for 70. So, yeah, you're good.
So you're all good. Oh, hello.
Anyway,
Aussie Gun Bunny came in while you were explaining about World Toilet. I was going to toss up, what's the more important? Because it also is apparently International Men's Day, but AIDzee has AIDzee's declared the real importance of today is International Toilet Day.
Well, one day an Indian guy come up to my old man. Oh, that's what's going on. An Indian guy come up, hey. An Indian guy come up to my old man and said, I would like to shake your hand, good sir. And he's gone, why is that? He says, because you're a plumber and you have given us toilets. He's gone, fucking righto. And then this guy explained that in his province and city, that something like 5% a year would actually, and usually about 15% a year of people would die of like dysentery and cholera and completely preventable diseases. And then they, he and a few others lobby the government to get toilets in, and fucking the death rate went away. He said, it even smelled better.
Of course,
and then and what was weird was because they put all the sewage in the waterway. Nice, the waterways cleared up. The waterways cleared straight up. I mean, the natural reeds and sediment took care of all the effluent, and because no one was shitting randomly on the street or in the stream, it all got clear. They got fish. It was fucked up. I'm going to go and turn the other light off. Actually, I think the cord's long enough to take me. I'll take you for a ride. It'd be like Jacques Cousteau. In the deep, he goes and turns the light off, making sure that he is beautiful for the people on the camera. And now we see the shark of the deep. Hello. The shark of the deep has just put his teeth in again, and they won't come off. Isn't it beautiful? I've got to do that every time I go to the chemist, because they have a camera there who identifies you. And then the camera goes, oh, it's AIDzee. Give him his thing.
Yes.
And I get, oh, look at me. I go all fuzzy when I do that.
Yes.
That could be one of those film clips. Yeah.
Whereas I say sharp. There you go. But okay, that weirds me out. Okay, like my video is really sharp compared to yours. But as I said the other time when we recorded this stuff for podcasts, your audio comes out way clearer than mine for some obscure reason. If I use the audio that the computer recorded, it's really sort of modulated like it's going through a 60s synthesizer or something.
Yeah.
So but so I get clearer video, but you get clearer audio. Very strange. Very strange. Anyway.
I get very clear audio. It's fabulous.
My lovely dame, where are you? My lovely dame's having to explain to her what a dunny is, and Aussie Gun Bunny has kindly let her know that it's a toilet, and a dunny diver is a plumber.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know. My lovely dame did say, "Oh, I thought it was a sink." Well, anything's a dunny if you're brave enough, or drunk enough. The gentleman will know. There are probably very few gentlemen who, at some point, have not pissed in a sink somewhere. It would be very rare.
That freaks me out. That freaks me out. The design is completely different. I mean, it's not like the pipes all go to the same place. They do. I've seen someone piss out of a shower into a sink, and I was going, that's kind of redundant.
That's weird. That is
Yeah.
full on weird.
You're already in the shower. Deal.
PBR says your dance moves gave him an acid flashback.
See? See, they gave me an acid flashback, and I was only on acid.
You know the same pipes thing. Weird things you remember. I had this memory from primary school. So basically 40 years ago, one of the nuns who ran the place was telling us that we should avoid drinking out of the taps in the toilets because it's the same water that flushed the toilets. Now, she's technically not wrong.
She's not wrong.
But the water out of every single tap is the same water that flushes the toilet.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell what she's trying to do. She was trying to give some basic hygiene to country children who have no fucking idea of hygiene. And ladies and gentlemen, when I go over to Studio Angry, the same.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get a kicking for that, but no. Yeah, I mean, I can see what she's doing, but, you know, nuns. Fucking deceitful cows. That's all I'm saying. I mean, they're little and they can punch like a fucking wounded fucking bar fighter, and they bottle fight really well too.
Never trust a nun with a bottle in her hand.
Oh no, especially when she's just drunk at it and say, "You want some gin? I wouldn't mind." Oh, this motherfucker! Bang! Straight in the face. Twist, twist, twist. That's always what annoyed me about nuns is that glass you then twist, twist, twist.
Twist it.
You know, like laugh my grey water system when them sinks in the shower go to a different system to the toilet. We try not to pee and we definitely don't waffle stomp in the shower.
But that would help the garden. That. If your grey water's going to the garden, that's fertilizer. And I have to admit,
go on.
I just have to admit, I first read it. I thought Aussie Gun Bunny was saying he had a gay water system. I said, "Oh yes, different sink and shower water. That sounds super gay." I don't know why I thought that, but I thought that.
It's not gay enough.
No. I was expecting him to say something really elaborate about his water system. I was wondering, how does your water system get gay? It's got to be something incredibly flamboyant.
Yeah. I was just thinking how many times I've waffle stomped. Twice.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have, actually.
Twice I have.
Yeah.
And I was fucking sick both times.
I was about to say, being sick is usually the excuse. If it doesn't involve...
Go on.
I was going to say, if it doesn't involve being sick, you've got some serious questions to answer.
Well, the question usually to answer is, why have you got a shit fetish?
Yes.
You know, coprophilia. I've seen it, experienced it, don't like it.
No, that's on the do not do list as far as I'm concerned.
Not for me, no. I was surprised when I was in the shower with a human who went, "Oh, I'm ready for, well, there was fun being had. And this individual said, "Oh, I'm ready for the big fun now." And I'm going, "Oh, yeah, cool." Splash. And I'm going, right. Didn't expect you to do that.
Right.
And waffle stomp. I've never heard the term before. And then I went blah. And you'll be surprised, but after that human went home, I disinfected my shower thoroughly.
Get the bleach out. Get the bleach out.
Oh, I mixed lots of chemicals together. I was surprised it didn't fucking explode.
Oh God! See, I was watching the. You've seen the movie Red, haven't you? The
I have
retired spy one. Fabulous.
love it.
And
Love the shit out of it.
Red 2 is very good as well. It's not as
Yeah.
good as based on a comic written by one of my favorite comic writers, Warren Ellis, who was talking about in a recent live stream. Red stands for retired, extremely dangerous. Bruce Willis plays a retired CIA killer who becomes inconvenient to someone who tries to kill him, which turns out to be a very big mistake.
Well, him and his crew, actually.
Yes, everyone he worked with, and so he gets his old crew together, who are all quite old, and it's a very bad idea to try and kill them. And what's his name? Who's the one who was subject to the acid experiments? I'm trying to remember the actor's name.
Oh, it's Malcolm.
Yeah, no, John Malkovich.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he's great. It's just like he's clearly completely unbalanced, and Bruce's girlfriend's like, "What's his story?" Like, he thinks that the government's been spying on him for 40 years. Right. To be fair, they did dose him with LSD every day for a decade.
And then
he looks great.
He's doing well. He's doing really well. And
such a good movie.
And the Russian says, "I know she loves me." And there's a really good reason why, but I won't spoil it.
We won't spoil everything, but and God, there's so much to love. But Helen Mirren being a fucking assassin, she's just the best. And in answer to everyone's unanswered question about Helen Mirren, unasked question about Helen Mirren, fuck yes, I would.
Any day.
Yeah.
Any fucking day. Any day.
Yeah, and I literally watched it like a day ago. It just happened to be on the telly, so I watched it. Such a good movie.
Who's the woman who played M in the James Bond film?
Judi Dench.
Okay, so Judi Dench and Helen Mirren have both been knighted. So they're Lady Judi Dench and Lady Dame Judi and Dame Helen. Yeah. And when those girls get together, because they went to RADA together, they get on the piss and whatever else and play up.
Yes.
And they went to an opening of something. They're both shattered, both shit-faced. And they go in front of the cameras and go, "Hello." And they go, "Oh, yes, how's it going?" "Oh, it's fucking great, we're going to have a fucking great time." "We're live." "Fuck off, we're not live." And I said, "No, we are." They've gone, we'll just go in. They just went away.
Yikes.
Oh, shit.
Yes. As the saying goes, there is nothing like a dame.
Nothing like a dame. Yeah, the two dames on national TV. Oh,
there's always like the joke with the Logies, which I haven't watched in years, but it's always the joke of which guest presenter, probably an American, is going to be shit-faced while they try and present an award. Because there's always someone. There's always someone.
And their favourite game with the Americans when they get over here is Americans' full-strength beer is the same strength as Australian light beer. And
like their beer is like 3%. So a 5% beer is really strong to them.
Yeah. And so one of the favourite Australian games is say, "Oh, let's just have 6 beers." And the Americans go, yeah, I'll get a slight buzz out of that. And then, of course, they give them in pints or schooners, big, long beers, and 6 later they're dancing on their fucking head. And then they usually get them to do something like present an award or make a speech. And it's like, and the compadres are fairly fucked as well. But you see these guys wobble up and go,
yes,
the best supporting role is this woman called can't pronounce this. Yeah, and it's great because they look shit ass.
Yeah, and I think there's also an element that Americans think it doesn't count when they're out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're a bit cavalier, but yeah, the bureaucracy. Well, I like this. Adele's saying Judi Dench does offensive embroidery. I am going to have to look that up. I'm going to have to look that up. Judi Dench, offensive embroidery.
Boss of the house does offensive embroidery, if you can believe that.
That's fair.
Does. I've seen it. I've seen one of them done a couple of guys fisting. It was just awesome.
I know that it's on Pinterest. A lot of people are posting stuff and calling it Judi Dench style needlework. You know, do not fuck with me. You've got a dirty, whorish mouth.
Nice.
Shut your whore mouth.
Nice.
Oh dear, that's she's. Oh yeah, sorry. I was just scrolling through the pictures, and one of my favourite bits of embroidery I've seen. It says, "Warning: This is proof I have the patience to stab something 1,000 times."
That's great.
That is a good and true warning.
It is a good and true warning. And put that over there. And put this over here. Move my biscuits. I'm getting a book together because I've got to write down notes as I go. Ooh, something planned. Tripping.
Okay, tripping. I know Peter, who I know from YouTube. She's on the Facebook chat saying she's basically had the same experience with American YouTubers as we're describing with Americans at the Logies, basically not giving a shit and being more than a tad arrogant.
Oh, yes, I've seen that before.
Yeah. Justin's bringing up Americans get, and we were talking about this last time, I think, Americans get excited when they're under 21 but over 18 and they can drink legally.
They come to Australia and get shit-faced.
Will
I
Smith,
helped them.
Sorry? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I helped them.
Yeah. Will Smith had a story about his son, Jaden, for his 18th birthday. He said, "Special day, son," because the Smiths are filthy, stinking rich. Do whatever you want. He goes, "Can we go to London and have dinner at some restaurant they'd been to? That would be special." And Will just says, "Fuck yeah, London, here we come." And they sit down and they order dinner, and the waiter's going, "And drinks?" And Jaden says, "I'll have a vodka." And his dad says, "The hell you will." He goes, "Dad, it's England. 18 is legal." And Will Smith is going, Is that the reason we flew to England? And Jaden's going, "Yep."
You betcha. I feel for Jaden because one day he's going to be, I don't know, 30, and he'll have just done a movie and he'll be on a talk show. And they go, "So, Jaden, let's look at your Twitter history." And he'll go, "Oh, fuck."
I don't know. I reckon he's really into it, because he does write weird fucking shit on not just Twitter. All his social media stuff is weird as hell.
Is he just fucked up or trolling? Because whenever I see him, he looks very balanced. He looks very...
I think he's sincere when he's saying all that super... Well, I was going to say weird and trippy, but it's basically just nonsensical stuff that he says. I think he's actually sincere, like, I'm searching for higher meaning. So...
Yeah, I don't think... it's never offensive. It's dumb, but it's never offensive. Like, he's never, like, picking on a group people idea. He's never fucking, punching down and sucking up. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's never offensive, but he's always looking for the other thing, the more meaningful thing, which is nice because you get the other side, the Britney Spears effect, where I'm empty and fucked and everything's shit.
Yeah.
Well, no. And Jaden's just looking, which is nicer than going, everything's fucked. I'm going to nihilistically do nothing now.
Yeah.
Because he's probably getting his end away because he's a good-looking young rich guy.
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not. Sorry, as long as it's not.
Oh, necrophilia like that bloody English Jimmy Savile.
Oh man, that was the worst.
Fucking
Jesus.
hell.
The worst
stories just kept on coming out and coming out and coming out. Like, Jimmy, what aren't you into, you evil fuck?
Yeah. The worst I heard about him was because Irvine Welsh, the English writer who did most famous for Train Spotting, but it's written quite a bit. And I read a book of his short stories, and one of them was a character that was obviously Jimmy Savile, had another name, but it's obviously Jimmy Savile. And he's fucking the corpses in the hospital that he raises millions of dollars for, and because he did heaps of charity work. And so the hospital would let him do anything, and that includes fucking the recently arrived corpses in the hospital. And then when Savile died some 10 years after this was published, and everyone's going like, oh yeah, no, that was the thing that Savile, now he's dead and he can't sue it. I'll tell you, he actually did it. And I was like, okay, this was so widely known. Irvine Welsh was writing about it. And everyone who was in the industry knew who he was talking about. And everyone stopped him.
It's not only that, everybody knew everything else he was doing too. Okay. Everybody knew everything. And this is the thing about the entertainment industry, and something I can speak to.
Yes.
Is that people do things that are fucking evil and get away with it all the time because if one of the cards in the house of cards gets flicked out and falls down, the whole fucking lot goes with it. And these people do horrible things. I mean, there's active fucking pedophiles. There's a couple in comedy, but there's a lot in wider entertainment. And if they ever got called out, they would bring down fucking 24 other very influential humans with them. And they fucking get away with it. It's like the Catholic Church. While they discriminate against and ban homosexuality, you get these motherfuckers who build these huge power bases built on the fact that if you don't let me do what I want, I'm going to call you all gay. And they go, oh, yes, we will do what you want. Tell you what, the Curious all opposing gay liberation in the church, which is what the Pope wants, because they know as soon as that happens, all their power base will fucking collapse. And all their sins will come out. The Pope knows this quite well. Yeah. And he's going for it and just, chipping away. He's already found the money. He's also apparently setting up a trust. He's a clever man. He's setting up a trust so that when they get the shit suit out of him for pedophilia over like 50 years, they've got the money to pay out. Because this was always a bit of a fucking scary thing in the church, and why they fired the last guy was they said, we are broke and we're in for a fucking when the law comes for us. And they said at the time they need Jesus with an MBA, and they basically got it. More's the pity to them. Jesus, when they fucking put him in, they thought, oh, yes, sweet, it's good. And fuck, didn't he go to town with the axe? And they're going, oh, we might have fucked up here. No more Armani shoes, fucking no more gold chairs. We're going to give money to the poor. And they're all going, fuck, dude, fuck, man, come on. Get your vestments from local fucking seamstresses and tailors. No more jewels, no more gold. And it's like, fuck. And he's turned around and said, we're supposed to be living in poverty, so you can fucking live in poverty. No more 5-star hotels. And it's like, shit. And the transport went down too. It's like, you can all get fucking taxis. We're selling the fleet.
Yeah,
I
I
loved
mean,
all that. I thought that was fucking awesome. Go on.
they've still got trillions in assets
Mm.
worldwide. Yeah, I mean, yes, a lot of his moves are very nice and very good, and even just symbolic ones like for years, one of the holy days, the Pope would, is supposed to be echoing one of the Jesus stories from the New Testament, who washed the feet of his disciples, and the Pope would wash the feet of particular cardinals to commemorate this. And New Boy went, no, 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 no. This is about humility. Bring in a few people off the street. And he actually washes the feet of people who've come in from the street. And yeah, the cardinals were like, "You're doing what now?"
And one of the big things is two of the people, one was a child and one was a gay, and they both had AIDS, and they were in a bad way. And he washed their feet really especially well.
Yeah.
And they both had sores all over them. And when he's washing the feet of this kid and this gay guy, he washed it thoroughly, and then he got balm and medicine, and then gently put it on, and then bandaged up the feet and got it all together. And there's anesthetic gel, and he's put that all on. And halfway through his jokes, oh, my fingers are going numb, and kept on going. And everyone's going, Jesus, dude, that's full on, they fucking got AIDS and stuff, And yeah, it went over. It went over very well with the people. Didn't go over so well with the priest. They're going, ew. And he's going, Jesus fucking wash the feet of the poor and the prostitutes. Get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like this guy. It'll be amazing. It'd be amazing if he gets all his stuff through. It won't be as amazing if they fucking knock him off. Because that has never happened before, because you don't get to do autopsies on popes. Poisonous fucking handbook. I tell you what, I'd be looking for puncture marks.
John Paul the First.
Oh, yeah.
30 days later.
Well, he came in announcing he was going to have a Catholic pill. He was going to ordain women and nuns. He was going to do this and he was going to do that. And they went, not in one day, buddy. And he just all announced this in 1 week. And there was a whole heap of other reforms he was going to put in snap straight away.
Well, I think he was trying to do the money one as well, and they don't like the money one.
No, they don't. But Francis fucking outmaneuvered him on that one. I imagine he'll outmaneuver him on a lot of things. Well, you don't get to fucking be cardinal in Argentina without fucking knowing a thing or two about politics and
exactly. Bit of turmoil there in Argentina. Hey, quick question.
Go for it.
Gonna get you to at least start the conversation about incels that we've been talking about. Do you want to full on go for it, as in we'll record it for a podcast, or do you want to do somewhat of a trial run? We're just going to do it?
Yeah, we're just going to do it. I'm confident enough to know that even if I ramble, I've done enough research to go, I can say something intelligent. I mean, within me intelligent.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to have lots of breaks. I'm going to have one now.
All right, we'll have one now.
Okay. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to keep my microphone on, but I'm going to turn my camera off. And I'm not going to take my headphones off and make it all sing and everything.
Okay.
But I'll call you when I'm ready to go. Muting.
Oh, okay. You're going to mute your own microphone. Good man. All right. I'll take him off there in case he's suddenly going to get naked on screen, because he said he was going to switch off his camera, but he didn't. So that's okay. No, you're not on screen. Go for it. Because I can still see the man. So Okay. I know, Sophie, you're asking a couple of questions about the popes and the Vaticans, saying, does the Pope control constitutional monarchs? Short answer would be no. Slightly longer answer was, I don't know that the Pope ever actually controlled monarchs, but certainly in Catholic monarchies, the church was regarded as very important, and that's where you get the whole bloody Henry VIII Church of England thing. But yes, after, does the Vatican pay tax to any countries? I don't think so. Well, I don't think the Catholic Church pays tax anyway. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even 10% sure, actually. I have no idea how tax systems around the world work. Just the few countries that I do know their tax systems, churches have tax exempt status. So, in their very big markets, the Catholic Church and other churches and other complete scammers who say they're a church don't pay taxes, which is a bit of a scam. So that's the thing. So as soon as I said scammers who say they're a religion, I thought of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard. And it's had some fascinating podcasts on that. Thanks to all the good people in internet land. Months ago, I asked for podcast recommendations, and I got a couple of really good ones. And probably my favorite out of all the recommendations I got was a podcast called Behind the Bastards. This guy's an American journalist, researches, as he says, the worst people in history and tells you everything you don't know about them. And, you know, he did the obvious ones like Hitler and Stalin and Saddam Hussein, but he doesn't tell the bog standard story, like you find out that Hitler was into fantasy fiction. Saddam Hussein published these really bizarre romance novels, and so on and so forth. But yeah, he did. There's quite a few on L. Ron Hubbard because he just thinks L. Ron is both the craziest and most successful con man in modern history. Safa, Scientology is tax exempt in a lot of places. I think they are in Australia. They are in America, notoriously in what they called Operation Snow White. Scientologists infiltrated the tax office, and I think the offices of some key politicians, and got a shit ton of blackmail material on people. Right, is that, are you ready to come back? Unmuted?
Yep. So ready to come back. It's ridiculous. I was listening to you saying Operation Snow White, and I'm just putting this in here. France and Australia are the only places that made Scientology not tax exempt. It was Gough Whitlam in 1973 and 4. And then in 1976, they were made tax exempt again in Australia. So the Scientologists are very cautious in France and Australia, because they're only places in the world that called them out for what they are, which is a fucking scam, and a business, not a religion. So
it's not even a business; it's just a full-on fucking scam. In fact, I loved quoting, because they are also, not that I'd notice someone as insignificant as me, but they are notoriously litigious. So I made a video ages ago because they were in the news for something, and it was just called "Scientology is not a religion; it's a dangerous cult." And I can say that because it was a quote from a High Court judge in England, and she said, "Scientology is not a religion; it's a dangerous cult." Also said Supreme Court judge such and such. Those are the words of a Supreme Court judge, not me. So,
I'm more than happy. to stand up with the anonymous crowd and say you're a fucking scam.
Yeah.
There's more than a few people that have taken an e-meter apart and seen a battery, a couple of resistors, and a capacitor, meaning the needle's just going to go when it's heated. So if you hold the bloody thing, the needle's going to go. It's just a fucking the main part of the machine is an empty box with basically 3 electrical components in that are soldered to a breadboard. It's just shit. Anyway, so yeah, you're a fucking scam. There's a few. Australia's a weird place because they'll bend over backwards for religions, right? And they'll say, yeah, fucking do what you want, because it's actually one of the only things in the Constitution. You're allowed to assemble with anyone you like, right? It's a constitutional right. And it also brings in freedom of religion. It's like you assemble with anyone you want and believe whatever you want, basically. So they'll do that, but then they'll turn around and go, no, not you. There's a cult called the Brotherhood, and they were pootling along being a gated community religion for a while, which Australia doesn't like, but they let go. And then they started laundering American money through Australia, and foolish thing. You can murder someone in Australia and the police will chase you for 10, 15 years and that's it. You're home free. You take fucking $1,000 off the tax office and they will chase you for fucking life. Basically, you can go to Antarctica or fucking Alaska and they will come after you. Do not steal money from the Australian government. It's a dangerous thing. You think you're in trouble with the mob? Nothing. Get in trouble with the Australian tax office? Be prepared to widen your ass. Anyway, the Brotherhood decided to launder money and they fucking very nearly lost their religion status until they paid them back. Ooh, that hurt. You're saying?
I was just going to say, I'm going to make a drink here and then start the podcast recording. So
okay, go. I'm going to do strippy dancing again. I'm doing the monkey off my head. And I'm eating a biscuit while doing the monkey. Oh, shit, I just dropped my biscuit on the floor. Happily, I've got another one I prepared earlier. Gonna get this biscuit off the floor before here we go. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
20-second rule?
Yeah, 20-second, okay.
Well, it's the 10-second rule, but you know
what? Usually
you
refer to as the 3-second rule, I think, but
yeah, that's just for looking at guys.
Yes.
They did an experiment in England and Australia to prove it.
Yeah.
And it's actually the 2.5 minute rule.
Right.
It takes 2.5 minutes for bacteria to get on food that's been dropped on the floor. Except in a hospital where it takes 30 seconds. Nice. I've been told a few times. Yeah. Been told a few times in hospital, do not put your feet on the floor.
Yeah. And you've been in hospital a few times.
A couple of times, yeah. Once or twice a year.
All right.
For 30 years.
You gonna finish your biscuit so I can start the podcast, or?
Okay.
Just suggesting it might sound a bit gross to people, but
no, bit more gross if I open my mouth.
Ooh, urine sample.
Ooh. Down the hatch.
Oh yeah.
How is it?
Okay. It's good.
What is it?
It's bourbon and banana liqueur and elderflower liqueur.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice sounding. I'm having
Yeah.
coffee out of a plastic mug.
That's also good.
Nice. Very nice. There's nothing in it but coffee. It's disappointing, really.
All right. You ready to go?
Hell yes.
All right. I'm still experimenting with this recorder. But I think it'll be good tonight. Okay.
We're going to point.
Yep, it's all good. We'd couple seconds silence and then I'll do an intro. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm here once again with the magical AIDzee.
How you going, everyone? Thank you very much for letting us on your device. You are nice and everything. Really,
Yeah,
you're nice.
and we've got big plans because actually not that long ago, AIDzee, you discovered the incels.
I discovered the incels. I had only heard rumors of their existences. And I was going, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I heard about this Elliot Rogers kid. And I heard weird things about that. And I just let it go. And then more and more I was hearing about these incels. And then I chatted to a young lady. And she was saying the incels scare her. And I was going, and I thought, what are they? The Hitler Youth or something? And then I went and did a bit of internet research, which is what
Yeah,
everyone does now,
yeah.
and found out a bit about them. And they're fucking way worse than the Hitler Youth.
Oh
So
yeah.
I had a think and a look and a listen and another think and another look. And everybody can't stand these motherfuckers because they're essentially nasty, self-entitled and dangerous.
Mm,
But I had another look and I thought, actually, if you listen to what they say and look at what they do, no one's taken the time to train them. They're talking about shit they don't know about from a position of absolutely no experience,
yes.
with clearly no one ever taking them aside and saying, okay, this is biology, this is people, this is society, and this is behavior.
Mm,
No one's ever done that. And I was clued into this because I was watching one of these interactions on one of these, talkback web pages, things,
yeah.
say it in the comments.
Yeah.
And a few of these guys were getting biology wrong. And I was going,
Oh, very wrong. Yes.
how do you get biology wrong if you're so very politically into this? And I realised you get biology wrong if you haven't been told about biology, or you don't know about biology, or you don't know enough to look. You don't know enough to do simple internet research on biology. You
Mm,
just do what you're told. And
yes.
people's beliefs are formed from what they're told. I
Mm,
mean, think about all the people in the world who have an imaginary friend in the sky. They
yes.
just have that because they're told there's an imaginary friend in the sky. I could grab these people and say there's a dragon in my garage. And they go and look and there's no dragon. They say there's no dragon. It's invisible, but I can't touch it. It's moving away from you. But isn't a big dragon? It sometimes is big and sometimes is small. It's just fucking whatever. And then give me money,
Yes.
lots of money, because they all do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the real danger. Like you highlighted these lads, and look, I'm going to put a little disclaimer in. People who've had very bad experiences with the insults, and I am particularly thinking of people of the female persuasion here. Although it isn't just women who have bad experiences with incels, men who aren't completely fucked in the head can have very bad experiences with them. But as you pointed out, with a lot of these lads, nobody has given them a proper talk, but some very amoral, if not downright evil people have got in their ears. and have told them things. And these people call themselves pickup artists, and they sell their books, and they are grifters, and they take advantage of and manipulate these lads, and you get this incredibly negative death spiral of bitterness. Oh, and I want to point out, we are actually recording this on International Men's Day, November 19th. So next International Women's Day, when some dipshit on the internet goes, what about International Men's Day? It's November 19th. Shut up.
November 19th, motherfucker. Where were you? Where were
And so
you when the
we,
erections went
yeah,
up?
we are marking International Men's Day by seriously and unironically talking about some first steps to. Well, I don't think it's going too far to say we're trying to rescue incels. There are probably
No.
some lost causes, but we really want to reach out.
Yeah, fucking oath. We're really looking to reach out to incels because if you think it through, incels have been fucked over from every angle, but mostly from inside. Totally right. There's guys who have turned up with books to sell and products to sell, and they go right through these incel communities, you know, basically emptying their wallets. And these buggers are not any better off and sometimes worse off than when they started and don't get their ends wet. You know, and I'm not going to be gentle about what this is all about. I am saying if you do these things, you will get a fuck. And I'm not trying to pretend that you're looking for anything else. Usually getting a root involves having a relationship. That's sort of part of it. And it's not necessarily a relationship that lasts years and years. It could be a relationship that lasts overnight. Christ knows I've had as many of those. But it's all about sharing, which is what your incel doesn't know and what we're about to find out.
Yes, and I do like to say, like, this is one of the things that I see on these. I think one of the reasons the incel chat boards and social media accounts flourished is because they felt so isolated and they felt hated and neglected. And first they could find each other and the whole I'm not alone thing. But then the manipulators, the Rouge V, the Stefan Molyneux, the creepy psychological manipulators got in there and said, yes, you're right. Women's are bad. And they've just fed the negativity, which is the easiest thing to do. And also from our side of the fence, feeding their negativity is the easiest thing to do. Like saying, no, you are actually worthless little shitbags, and I wish you would all go away. You're awful. And that, as easy as that is, and as often justified as that feels, it doesn't
And that's
help.
the problem. That is the problem. People who would do something reasonable look at these individuals and go, you're entitled little white shits who've had your toy taken off you and are acting accordingly, which is real. So it's easy to go, you guys are all fucked, because they are, and walk away. But that's not leaving them with anything useful. They're just going to remain fucked. They're just going to remain shitheads. They don't know. They don't know. And they've been fucked around by pickup artists. And they've been fucked around by guys with an axe to grind against women, misogynist fucks, and turning them into misogynist fucks. And the cycle goes on and on and on. And you get this shit about Chads and Stacys, which we will be talking about.
Yes.
And alpha males and beta males and all this shit.
Yeah.
So there's the red pill, blue pill, and black pill. I don't understand the black pill. What's that?
Black pill are the ones who are given up, and they are either suicidal or homicidal. So black pill is very, very, very dangerous. That's where you get your mass shooters from. That's where you get the worshippers of Elliot Rodger. And in the general alt-right, and again, the alt-right will be as disparaging to incels as anyone, if not more so. The neo-Nazis, the people who, like shoot up mosques and shoot up social justice warriors, they'll be as disparaging to the incels as anyone. But you get the black pill idea goes beyond the incels. But yeah, as soon as anyone starts talking black pill, that is huge flashing light danger, because that is the person who's gone so far into nihilism. They regard suicide and mass homicide as completely justifiable acts.
Well, this is the thing that spurred me to action. Was I was doing all this research into, because I never heard about this, and I'd heard little things, and I went, I better find out. And I was finding out, and Jesus, fucking hell, bloody hell. But then I heard and saw a few of these guys saying Saint Elliot. Rung a bell, and I remembered, Elliot Roger. And Roger. And I went, no, you're not idolising that guy, are you? And they fucking were.
Yeah.
Happily, I've seen a lot of incel boards going, no, it's not Saint Elliot, and we're not having Saint Elliot here.
Yeah.
You could admire the guy, but you're not idolising him because he's a dickhead who fucking shot people. And also, too, and the incels will actually say this, he never talked to any women. He just thought that they would throw themselves at him. And his psych people were going, you have to talk to them. You're not just rejecting you. You have to talk to them. To get rejected, you've got to... He was going, oh, no, there's no need because I'm a good guy and I'm a nice guy. That's the other thing we'll be talking about tonight.
The nice guy.
Yeah. What constitutes that, fellas?
Yeah. Yes, let's talk about genuine intent, not declared intent, not declared character, not declared motivation. Let us talk about genuine motivation.
Indeed. So, without further ado, and I hope that you'll join in at any time, mon frere.
I'm letting you take the lead because you did the research, but...
I'm not saying friend, I'm saying brother. Frere means brother. Just right? So when I say mon frere...
French shit, isn't it?
No, friend. You fucking pick your friends. You can't pick your fucking family. I said French. I misheard you because you're a cockhead.
Yeah. No, it just made me think of that famous Australian woman spy from World War II. What was the name? Yeah, the little mouse. And she parachuted into France to work with the underground. And there is this famous story, like she parachutes into a field and her parachute actually got caught in a tree and she's dangling there waiting for her contact. And this Frenchman comes up and he says something French along the lines of, if only all the fruit was as beautiful this season. And she's been hanging there for half an hour waiting for him and says, just cut it with the French shit and get me out of the tree. So none of your French shit, okay? We don't put up with that.
But she did speak fluent French and quite a bit of German too.
Yes. The Germans thought she was French.
Yes, and when she spoke German, she deliberately spoke in such a shit accent that they had to keep on asking her what she meant. And she would apparently delay them for like half an hour, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Ballsy move when you're a spy. But anyway.
We probably should stop talking about strong women because that scares the incels. And we want to actually get into where we say positive things about.
I am going to get you and I to talk about strong women because strong women are excellent for your young man because they will root you.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I've never got involved with a weak woman, so that holds true.
Yep. Weak women will freak out and run away at the drop of a hat, But your strong woman will sit there and talk to you about issues and then go, yeah, righto, come on, we're going home. Get your coat, you've scored. Nicest thing is when they dip their finger in their drink and then they wipe it on your shoulder and go, come on, let's get you out of these wet things.
That sounds like an actual real lived experience.
Well, it wasn't me, it was my brother. And
Okay.
and he is beautiful. If there was ever a Chad, it's him. I saw it with my own eyes and I went, nice one, my bro. So yes, to formally start. Hello, incels. How the fuck are ya? No, don't answer that.
You're not
It is good
happy.
to see you. You're not happy, and I get that. Because every young man wants to get his end wet. That's slang for having sexual intercourse. And incel, as I understand it, is for involuntary celibacy or involuntary celibate, meaning you are celibate but you don't want to be. Now, I'm going to tell you straight away that you're not alone in the sense that every man in existence has had that at some point in their life, be it at the early part of their sexual awakening, or in the middle, or at the end of their experience. I've met old men in nursing homes saying the worst thing about getting old is that there's not enough women to root. The thing is, I've also talked to women in nursing homes saying getting old is bad because there's not enough men to root. A lot of my friends are disgusted with this, but I was taken with an 80-year-old woman who said to me as I was serving her in the old person's home that she could root anyone. And I laughed and she said, I could have you in an afternoon. And I'm going, yeah. And she said, well, are you working today? And I said, I am. She said, we're going out. And believe you me, in 4 hours, she had me in bed and she taught me more about style than, I'm still unpacking what she taught me.
I kind of like what
amazing woman.
Yeah. You said, like, the men in a nursing home say there's not enough women. Women say there's not enough men. I know people who work in nursing homes go, there are not enough condoms. There is
No.
these people won't stop.
They're at night time, and I've worked a few nights there. At night time, you check on them and go, that bed's missing. They're not there.
Yes.
They've gone out. Fuck. Because if they leave the compound, you're for it. And you start running around looking for them outside. And one time this other guy said, don't worry, mate. They're not outside.
Yes.
And I go, really? He said, yeah. And he said, sometimes you find their doors locked. And I went, yeah, really? And he said, yeah, they do lock from the inside. Don't worry about it. Just move on. And I tell you, man, fucking half the beds are empty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all right. But a guy in the nursing home said to me, and this is actually important. He said to me, when you wake up for the rest of your life, when you wake up, you're 15 years old. When you put your feet on the ground, 21. When you stand up, you're 70 again. But he said everyone wakes up a 15-year-old, and that never goes away. Incels, my friends, that never goes away. You will get these urges for the rest of your life, and that's healthy and okay. What's missing is the way to turn those urges into something useful. And so we get to the point where our incel friends tell us that women have all the power in selecting a sexual partner. Now, in your Western world where there's actual laws and stuff, and people speak English, and we have a culture of rape is not necessarily okay. Yes, women have a lot of say as to who they'll take into their arms. But what our incel brothers don't understand is that men have a lot of say too. There are as many women running around going, I can't get a root, as there are young men running around saying, I can't get a root. I want to kill one or two mistakes of understanding straight away. One of the things that goes around our incel brothers when they talk to one another is that they are genetically hard done by in the world attractiveness stakes. Chads get all the Stacys. Stacys will only go with Chads. And Becky's are too afraid to go with, I can never remember the name for the beta male. Can you?
They've got a particular name for themselves, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, look, we're doing this via the internet, so
You look that up and I'll keep
I could
talking.
look that up.
All right. So basically, you feel hard done by the genetic stakes. You're not. Don't worry about it. There's two things that are very important to know. If you are in a room with 30 people in it, right? If you're in a room with 30 people in it, 2 of those people think you're the sexiest thing on legs. I shit you not. That's absolutely real. If you are in a room of 30 people, 2 people in there are basically dripping their mouths about you. Now, it's difficult to feel that when you feel inferior and basically go in with your head down and try not to cause too much trouble. You probably also, those 2 people who want you are probably also just as shy and hard done by. So the trick is to keep your ears open and your eyes open, and they will find you and you will find them. We'll go into that a little bit more. But I want you to know you're not inferior. You are attractive to someone. Are you attracted to them? Who knows? I don't know. They might be of the wrong gender for you. I don't know. But there are 2 people in a room of 30 people who think you're hot shit. The other thing to remember is that you are one guy among billions. There's like 3 billion of your friends, but there are 3 billion women out there. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of women. You won't get through all of them. I've tried. Basically, you not going to meet 3 billion women. In a city of any size, you're going to see what, 100,000 realistically. In your work and social circles, you might see 1,000. And then you cut out all of the taken / homosexual / ones that aren't right for you. And we're going to drop that down to 250, reasonably 250. Can you remember 250 names? Probably not. Probably half of those you wouldn't consider. So we've now dropped it to 125. You can't get through 125 in your life.
Yeah.
You can't get through 125 in your life. You can't actually talk to 125 in a couple of years, just in a reasonable time frame to ask them all to have the sex with you. You can't. Guys, there are heaps of partners out there for you. There are heaps of them. So don't worry about not having the gumption to be with anyone. There are at least 125 individuals who you can ask. Realistically, only 80 of them will take you to bed. 80. Can you get through 80 people in a lifetime? Can you? I mean, in my lifetime, we reckon, Angry and I worked out that I've probably slept with 100 people in my life.
I'm not saying I enjoyed thinking about that, by the way. I just want to put in, yes, we have had this conversation. Yes, we worked out that was probably real. I just want to stress this was not necessarily a conversation that I enjoyed, thinking of AIDzee having sex with 100 people. Just throwing it out there.
Well, 100 people think you're fucking wrong, Angry.
And look, and you've got me there. You've literally beaten me 10-1, and it's pure fucking numbers, man. It's like you can't have that taken away from you. And I think you've hit on an important thing about, there are people out there for you. One of the things our incel lads need to let go of, a bit of their core ideology that they tell each other is real, that absolutely isn't. They believe, and I was looking stuff up as you were talking, they believe that, with the whole Chad thing, it's like the top 20% of men who are a combination of good looking, buff, and rich, that top 20% is getting about 80% of the action. And so the bottom 80% of the men only have 20% of the women to choose from. And it's, in their very negative language, the bottom 20%. And it's simply not true, but that is one of the core things they have to unlearn. They all tell each other this is true. It's going, well, because I'm not having sex today, and I didn't have sex this week, this month, and I haven't had sex this year. Maybe I haven't had sex for 5 years. It's because a minority of men are having sex with all the women. That's a key thing they have to unlearn, because no, it isn't.
It's not real. I want you to think of this. In very poor nations like India, used to be like China, like Nepal, there are a lot of fucking people. And there are a lot of fucking people because a lot of guys are rooting a lot.
Yes.
If you think that through, there's cultures where sex before and during marriage is highly regulated. Those cultures have a shitload of children in them. Someone's getting action.
Yes.
Someone's getting it, right? Look, guys, this 80-20% is bullshit. You will be blown away when I tell you that the Chads basically think the same as you. They think they're not getting the action. They think they're hard done by. One of the things that Angry and I saw on a night that we have here in Melbourne called White Night, where they do all lights in the city, and Angry and I usually go into a celebratory mode during White Night. We thanked our sponsors many times.
Yes. There are videos of us. If one cares to search the internet, there are videos of us really enjoying White Night.
We usually do interviews. Not really. We're
No.
there for work, but doesn't happen. Anyway, one of the things we seen once was one of these buff, big Chad type guys going home on the train station, and we were looking at this guy and he was furious, and we were saying, fuck, you wouldn't want to be near him tonight. If you were a young woman, you'd fucking run. And he was big and triangular shaped and fucking angry. And we were looking at each other and going, he's come out expecting to pick up and expecting for it to be easy, and it hasn't happened. And he feels very hard done by and very angry about it. And we were going, Jesus, that's violence just waiting to fucking happen. So I want you to know that the Chads feel the same way. It's actually worse for them because they can punch shit out of people, which is not a nice thing. So get over the fact, the idea, and the feeling that you can't because there's a barrier for you. There's not. There is no barrier. It doesn't exist. It's not right. Okay, we've got to ask ourselves, why am I qualified to do this? And we just touched upon that because I've rooted 100 people in my life.
Yes.
I'm bisexual, so and I'm one of those weird bisexuals, because usually bisexuals prefer one gender sort of. They go sort of one way or the other. I don't. I'm one of those rare bisexuals that's straight down the middle. I don't care what gender you are. I'm going there. People have suggested that I'm a pansexual, but I've never actually rooted a light pole. I've tried.
Yeah.
You know, if they say of me once, they said to me once that he'll root anything that moves, and if it won't move, you push it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
And why did I go for that? And it's because when I was very young, I was told I was fat and I was ugly, regularly and a lot. And it took a long time for me to realize that I was never really very fat at all, pretty much at all. And I wasn't particularly ugly. And there's some great photos of me in high school in formal gear, because, formal night, and I'm looking very uncomfortable. And then a few years later, I was in college/university. I say college for our American friends, university for all the other English-speaking nations. And things had changed. And the photo of me was someone who was finally happy to be me. Frankly, I was up to my nose in quim and having a great time with my life. Now, the thing is, I wasn't actually pulling any more roots than I had when I was in high school. I just let go of the idea that I was horrible and ugly. Now, the ridiculous part of it was when I was getting this sex, I was basically thinking that it was a fluke, that it was lucky, and that it would never happen again. The one good thing about that's taught me to be grateful. If I ever am clasped to the arms of someone, I'm just grateful that they were good enough to share themselves with me. But initially, I thought I was, jagging these people, and I was very, very lucky. And maybe they hadn't heard all the rumours. They had.
They heard all the rumors.
Yeah, some of them lived them. Sorry about that. So it took me a while to get over the idea that I was hard done by. It took me a little while to get over the idea that I was ugly and horrible. One of the things a nice girl once told me, and this is wisdom, and I'm going to tell you some other wisdoms in a minute. A nice girl once told me, and I was going, "Oh, it's really nice of you to root me, basically, because I'm ugly and horrible and poor and shitful." And she laughed and said, when it's Christmas and a girl unwraps her present, she doesn't give a shit about the wrapping paper anymore. It's what's inside. And I have seen and known that ever since. You've got to let go of how you look. I mean, dress up nice. I mean, take a bit of effort. Maybe have a haircut and clean your teeth. But when she gets the wrapping off, which is basically your appearance and you come on, all she's interested is who is inside. Who is the man inside? And we're going to get onto that too, gender roles. Who is the man inside? And that's the bit you've got to work on. I'm ugly and I smell. Well, there's deodorant, and like I said, have a shave and a haircut. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And it's not how you come on. It's not how you look. It's how you be and act. Because everyone, when they get the wrapping paper off, they don't give a shit anymore. They don't give a shit about how you dress. They don't give a shit about how you look. Believe me, they don't give a shit about how you look. I was so self-conscious about my appearance. And it took a while for people to tell me, don't care. It's who you are, it's how you act.
Yeah.
So let that go. Let that go. Your appearance is not who you are. What these women see when they see you is they see the person that you are being. This leads us on to what do women want? You know, they're so very confusing. They want these chads to be strong and forceful, but then they turn around and they say they want someone kind and submissive, and then they turn around and say they want someone who's protective and a breadwinner. But then they turn around and say they want a career and to be their own person. And I don't know what. Well, you know what? Think about yourself. Think about how you are in a day. Think about all the things you think about. Not about women, but think about your day. If you work, you've got to be a certain person to your boss. If you've got friends, you've got to be a certain person to your friends. If you're internet gaming, you've got to be, warrior, crush, kill, I'm going to fucking take everyone out. I'm going to get an arc of fire that'll frag these fuckers. You're that guy.
Yes.
And well done to you too. You know, I'll be playing Halo with you. No, I won't. I've got arthritic fingers. I can't make the controls go. It's so disappointing. And so you're different people to different people. You've got different ideas about where you are and what you're doing, and your feelings change all the time. Sometimes you'll go to women and say, how you doing? She'll say, and you say, what's wrong? Nothing. There's nothing worse than nothing, because there's nothing to go on. You can't do anything. You can't say anything to make it better. You know, oh, fuck, I'm in the corner here. And she'll say something snitty like, you're supposed to know what she's thinking, and you don't know what she's thinking. Listen, the easiest thing to get is that when she says, when you ask there's something wrong, she says nothing. She probably doesn't know. She probably doesn't know what's going wrong. She probably just feels shitty and goes, I feel shitty. And, and the fucking obvious comeback with guys is, she's on the rag. No, probably not. And never say that to a woman or you die. Probably let it go for other men too, because it'll get back and you'll die. Pro tip, when a woman's eyes go square, you're about to die. Women have this thing when they're really angry, their eyes go down and the sides come in. It's like, that's the death thing. You've either said or witnessed something that's very bad. So when she says nothing, she probably doesn't know. And she's not going to turn around and say, I don't know what's wrong, because it'll make her feel stupid. I mean, you could say anything about her. How don't you know what's going on? So she probably feels stupid about saying she doesn't know. So she just goes nothing. And all you've got to do is say, oh, hon, I'll give you some space, just to be your own thing. If you need anything or want anything, you know where to get me. I'm cool. I'm going to make a coffee or a sandwich. If you want one, just yell out. Give us some space. Give us some room. Think about how you would like to be given space and room if you're annoyed or angry or something. It's got nothing to do with her. How many times has it got anything to do with her? And if it's got something to do with her, you'd say so. Pro tip. If it's got something to do with you, she'll say so. So don't pick, don't push. Now, why am I saying this at an early stage? You haven't picked anyone up yet.
No.
This is a character thing. This is a human thing. You've got to stop thinking of women as a different species.
That's crazy.
They are people, right? I want you to think of women as men with girl skin on, right? Think of all the things you'd never say to a guy because you'd get your fucking head punched in, right?
Yeah.
Think of all that stuff. Now think of the things you say to women, right?
Yes.
If you said that to a guy, you'd get stabbed or punched.
Yes.
Now, what I want you to do is imagine that when you're talking to a woman, it's just like a guy. I'm going to give you two pro tips straight away. You would never talk over the top of a guy, right? When a guy was expounding upon something, you'd never just go, oh, blah, 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 straight over the top. halfway through their sentence. Men talk over women all the time.
Yes.
All the time. So what I want you to do next time you're with a woman is just actually listen to what she's saying. Don't just space out. Actually listen to the words she is saying. Don't wait until it's time for you to talk and say something. Listen to what she's saying. And when she's finished, say to her, I think you mean da-dee-dee-da-da-da. Is that real? Have I got that right? And you'll see her eyes widen and a slight visage of shock go across her face, because she will know instantly that you actually listened to what she fucking said, which is true. And that you have sucked this down and thought about it without judging. That's your next pro tip. Receive information without judging, right? When she's saying something, don't immediately go, oh, well, blah, this is that. And, oh, she's obviously wrong here. And, oh, she doesn't know shit about blah. Listen to all the data coming in, all of it.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, I've assessed this like this. Talk to her. Say, do you mean da-da-da-da and Hitler was good? And she'll go, no, don't mean Hitler's good. I mean that the Hitler Youth were forced into what they were doing. Oh, okay, good. Yes, no, I get that now. All right, so because of that, you mean what else? And then she'll continue talking. And because you are listening, you are all of a sudden 3,000% more interesting than any other guy in the room.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. But if you're a guy and actually listen to a woman the way you would listen to a man, you are instantly more attractive than all the other men. It's sad. It's actually sad.
Yeah. It's like where I did. We a few years ago were doing dating advice videos with Mistress M, our good friend Emma, and we were researching. We were going on the dating sites. I met the lovely Mrs. Angry about 15 years ago on a dating site. Emma was still a bit more out in the market at the time and would actually road test some of the dating sites. And she was reiterating what I discovered when I was on the dating sites. Step one, don't be a dickhead. And this is, looks be buggered, don't be a dickhead puts you ahead of 80% of your competition.
Straight away. You are ahead of your competition by not being a dickhead. What is a dickhead? Someone who is self-centered, someone who has no filters, someone who actually says by word or deed that women are inferior to him.
Yes, someone who does not recognize women as human, because this, to a lot of lads, is apparently shocking news. A significant majority of women like to be treated as if they are fully functional humans in their own right.
Fuck, Angry, it'll never catch on.
I know, right?
And you know what, guys, if you treat women as humans, if you treat them as people, if you treat them as equal people that are interesting, fuck me, you're already ahead of the crowd, which is sad, but it's true.
And this is a true thing from when I was dating and doing online things, various online chat things that don't exist anymore. But this would probably still count for things like Tinder and whatnot. But just by actually listening to women in this chat, or it was text going back and forth, more than once, and it weirds me out that this kept happening. At a certain point, the woman would go, "Okay, you haven't asked for a picture of my tits yet. What's going on? Are you actually a woman trying to set me up?" And no, honestly, I'm not. I have quite a bit of interest in tits generally, but I thought that could wait for a while. And they were like, This does not happen very often. Okay,
And
cool. And that's what I mean. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be flattering. You don't have to write poetry. You don't have to, be chivalrous. Just don't be a dickhead.
And fuck me, guys, it's so common. It's so common that if you simply, and this is why I was bringing up all this stuff earlier, right? It's so, this is why I was bringing up, you're not ugly, you're not horrible, and she doesn't care what you look like. She cares about how you treat her. Right? That's it.
Yes.
You take nothing else away from this.
Yes.
If you take nothing else away, she cares about how you treat her. They're not goddesses that are on pedestals. They're not, wonderful beings who will open the shining light of their vaginas to you if you go through the magic castle and go and climb the ice hill and get the flower. No, it's not like that.
No.
They're just people. They're just people. And if you talk to them like people, all of a sudden you get a wonderful reception. Okay, so you've got a wonderful reception.
Yes.
Step 2, honesty. Fucking honesty.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's where all the pickup artists, one of the dozen ways they lead you down very wrong paths. They tell you to lie. They tell you which lies to tell, and you may get some initial success from those lies, but you will not get anything lasting or fulfilling from those lies.
And the other thing too, you've got to remember, right? Women always find out. Always. And every chicken always comes home to roost. You tell a lie now, fuck me dead, it'll come back to you. It'll come back to you at the worst possible time and fucking bite you in the ass every time. Okay, so your easiest thing is to not lie. When you are talking to a young woman that you find sexually attractive, don't say, I find you sexually attractive and like to fuck you in those words, because that's not going to help you. But in the conversation early on, say something like, I find sex very important. And by the way, I think you're wonderful. I'd love to get to know you more. Can I buy you another drink? And be calm about it. Don't go full on. Be calm about it, but don't lie. Don't say, I want to be good friends with you. That'd be great. You don't want to be good friends with her. You want to root her. And this is where this bullshit of the friend zone comes from. Angry, take it away.
Yes, the friend zone. Oh my God. Please, again, and this is all about honest intent. This idea of, oh, I did nice things, and I was of the opinion there was an equation. I do 10 nice things, and she must, after that point, have sex with me, because that's an equation that I understand. It's like, you were never a friend. You were never a nice guy. If all of your actions and motivations were dishonest and you were essentially lying the whole time, and your goal was to manipulate the situation to get sex, you're not a friend. You're not a fucking nice guy. And the flip side, and I've heard women say this, it's like, oh my God, guys complain about the friend zone. Imagine being put in the fuck zone, as in you only have any worth as a human if you will fuck this particular individual. Nothing else about you counts. Nothing else about you counts. There is no value in you as a person. The idea of you as a friend is actually a negative. I like friends. I like male friends. I like female friends. I like non-binary friends. I like straight and gay friends. It's just like, friends are cool. Friend is not a lesser. And yes, it can be disappointing. And another time, I will tell you the story of the guy I went to school with, who we then went to the same uni, and that motherfucker 3 times in 1 year scored with the young lady that I was attracted to. Once I could forgive, twice I would be annoyed, but 3 times a young lady preferred him to me. Good for him. I wasn't
What an
busy.
ass.
I'm going off in the corner for a while and letting AIDzee talk because I brought up bitter memories and I'm going to wallow in bitterness for a minute or two.
All right. So, look, bloody, the fuck zone is an interesting thing. Being put in the fuck zone. If you're being put in the friend zone, then she's been put in the fuck zone. How would
Yeah.
you like to be put in the wallet zone? Right? She's
Which
only
happened.
with you. She's only with you because you're paying for stuff. That's it. And she's not going to root you or anything, but you're only paying for stuff. How would you like to be put in that? And that's what you're doing if you basically slide on in and say, "Oh, I'm going to be your friend," and then hope for a root later, because you're not her friend. You're just hoping for a root, and you're saying sticky things because you want that later, and it's a lie. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Oh, I don't want to root you because you're my friend," and then you have the fucking gall to say, "Oh, I've been put in the friend zone." Fuck you. That's rude and wrong. So don't do that. This comes back to the person that you are. This comes back to the person that you portray, which is yourself, right? One of the other things that Angry just brought up was the ledger. This is a thing that a lot of young men do these days. And look, men have done this for a long time, but it's very prevalent today, all right? Love, sex, and relationships is not a scoreboard. I've done 6 nice things for her, but she's only done 2 nice things for me. That is wrong. That is bullshit, right? It's not a ledger. It's not an accounting ledger, right? It doesn't go to a zero-sum total. It doesn't go 1 for 1. You just shovel coal in and hope you get a head of steam. You just keep on doing nice things and seeing if you get nice things back. If they never come, then piss it off, go somewhere else. But if they come sporadically, sometimes you get someone who will not do nice things straight away, but they'll do grand gestures every now and again, and they will be grand. Sometimes you get people who don't do huge things, but they do little nice things for you all the time. The trick is you just keep on doing nice things for people. That's all. Don't worry about what's coming back. If you start to worry about what's coming back, then you're really not in the place you need to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're talking about sex, not necessarily the relationship, but sex is a relationship, even if it's only for one night. It is a relationship, right? So if you take someone out to dinner and a movie and for cocktails after, that doesn't guarantee you a root.
No.
That doesn't guarantee you sex. You're not. This is a problem with our United States brothers. There's a lot of culture over there where the ladies expect certain financial gifts before they'll put out. That's culturally very tricky when they come to Australia and talk to the girls here, because the girls say,
that was the thing we discovered. We went to uni, we had American exchange students, and when we discovered dating there was much more transactional than dating here. And we're like, that's weird.
But that's a cultural thing. That's a cultural thing.
It was a cultural thing, yes.
The thing is, they would talk to the women here, and they would basically get a bit high-handed and tell the women here that they were wrong because they were letting their men get away with terrible things. And the women here would say, yes, you expect gifts for sex. We have words for women like that here. Oh, and then fuck, it was on. Many a time there were guys having to pull women apart in the bar because it was fucking on. The other thing is in Australia, prostitution is legal.
Well,
maybe that's
in certain jurisdictions, sex work is illegal. And it's regulated by the government. In other jurisdictions, it is illegal. But yeah, a transactional relationship is fine, whether you are a professional sex worker or just someone who is talking about your informal relationship having transactional basis. But again, you need some honesty around that.
absolutely, you need some honesty around that. And you're not guaranteed sex because you take someone out for dinner and a movie. Just get that
Yeah.
out of your fucking head immediately. You're not guaranteed sex if you buy or give or in otherwise, transact with a woman stuff. I've seen guys freak out at the end of a sexless short-term relationship, and they
Yeah.
come with a bill. With an invoice to these women. I did all this stuff for you and I want it back. And it's for fuck's sake, mate.
Yeah.
You missed out, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So stop worrying about, I haven't got enough money. I can't take this woman to the things that she likes. Guys, it's imagination, right?
Yes.
It's imagination. Spend $20 on cheap roasted chicken, some wine, a bunch of grapes, and some good cheese. Put it in a basket, get a blanket, go up a hill on a nice night, look at the stars, and get the picnic out. Maybe light a candle or two. And if you've got a small pair of binoculars or a telescope, borrow this shit from a friend. It's a romantic night. Stuff like that fucking goes way more into her heart than a trip to Hawaii. I fucking guarantee it. I've had more sex under an eclipse than I had when I was working for it at a bar. It's just, use your imagination. I went up a hill, a famous hill, when we were at college, me and Angry. Very famous hill. It's where they have a big car race, but it also there's a lookout at the top.
Yes.
And we went, me and my flatmate, to see the lunar eclipse. Now, not a solar eclipse where the moon covers the sun, but a lunar eclipse, and the moon goes blood red, and has the shadow of the earth on it. But it goes blood red, and it's an amazing sight. And there are all these people up the top of the hill, and a lot of them were standing outside going, ooh, ah. And all of these cars were rocking back and forward. And there was so many going, because, these people were out for a romantic night. Guys, be imaginative. Think, what would be fun? What would be romantic in the sense that you're both having fun? You don't have to go and buy fun. Remember that emotions happen in you, okay?
Yes.
They don't happen out there. Fun doesn't come from out there. Fun happens inside you. So think that through and think about making it fun for her, right? You're not buying her fun. You're not you're giving her the experience of fun. So think about what she'd like in the sense of a fun thing to do. One of the fun things that happened in the nation's capital, Canberra, where I grew up, I went out maybe on pills with my brother, and he said, "You want to do something cool?" And I went, "Yeah." And he said, "You've got to creep down here really quietly and slowly." And I went, right. And I did. And there's this long ramp with walls. And he said, "We call this the Star Wars trench." And I go, right, dark. Remember, it's dark. And remember, we're on pills. And he went, "Run with me." And he's going, "Ah!" And as we were running up this ramp, the lights come on, one after the other. And it was like, Oh my God, this is awesome.
Motion sensors. Okay.
It's all motion sensors and sound sensors, and the
Yeah.
sounds make different colors. And so you run up this
Oh,
trench and like, it's just like, stay on target.
yeah.
It's things like this. It's imagination. It's
Yes.
and think about that when you're at the bar meeting her. Think
Yeah.
about imagination. Think about fun. Don't go and meet her and go, "Oh yeah, I'm tough and I'm the man and I'm blah."
Yeah.
Bullshit. Doesn't matter. She's not wearing it. You know, you're not the man. She doesn't even like the president of the United States of America. If she doesn't like him, then she's not going to fucking buy it from you, buddy.
Yes.
So come with fun. Come with imagination. Those are the guys that go home with their dicks wet.
Yeah.
You know, you see these guys at the bar and they're the life of the party, and you go, "Oh, fuck you. How do you get to be like that?" No, you get to be like that. And the way you get to be like that is to understand that fun happens within you. Doesn't matter what people say to you. You know, they'll say something disparaging. Mate, people tell me shit things every fucking day. Just today, I was wandering to the mall locally, which I have to go to every morning. What's going on? Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And this beggar gave me shit just as I
Yes.
was walking past, and I think it had something to do with at the time one sideburn was longer than the other because I got up late and had to shave quick, and you
Yeah.
know, I was just fucking shave, go, go, go. One of those mornings. And so he's giving me shit about my sideburns, and I'm looking at him going, "You're sitting on a dirty fucking jumper with a cardboard sign saying, love Jesus, help me. With a shitty hat, you haven't showered for ages, and you smell like crap. With a nasty hat out and coins in it, and you're giving me shit." Everyone has the prerogative to give you shit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, right? This is my thing is, I wouldn't worry about it from him. Why would I worry about it from someone with a suit? Trust me, I
Yes.
don't.
Yeah.
People in suits are just thugs with suits on. Businessmen aren't clever, they're just sly.
Yeah. And criminals
They
aren't clever, they're just ruthless. And businessmen aren't clever, they're just criminals in suits. It's as
right?
simple as that.
It's simple as that, right? So don't worry about, the smooth guy wearing the suit. Fuck that shit. Don't worry about that. The guy's got the nice car and nice clothes, he's super cool. No, he's got money. Remember that you don't need money, you just need resources.
Mm,
He's got the money, which gets him his resources quickly. You've got imagination, which gets you
mm,
resources for free.
mm.
Okay. Angry will tell you that I haven't had money for 20 years now, isn't it?
Yeah. And you've still managed to have sex.
A lot. Um,
Yeah.
really a lot.
Disturbing. But anyway.
Well, actually, bizarrely enough, and Angry will attest to this, I
Mm.
haven't looked this good in over 10 years. That's real, isn't it, Angry?
That is, look, honestly, it's like having life threatening diseases and being pumped full of various drugs and being hospitalized can affect your appearance. The last 10 years, look, you look good. Possibly the weirdest you've ever looked was when you were getting the chemo for rheumatoid arthritis and your skin was green. And you are in what I affectionately like to refer to as your fat lesbian stage. But you look like the lecturers we had at uni, essentially.
I really do.
That's that. But look,
They
hey,
gave
we've got about 5 minutes to wrap this particular discussion up. It's obviously only the start of a longer discussion.
all
But
right.
let's tie a
So,
bow on this, is what I'm saying.
okay, so tying a bow on all this, guys, I want you to take this away. Women are people. They got a story just like you. They go home to families. They go home to a work day tomorrow. They have shitty days just like you. They have fun days just like you. They have boring days most of the time. Your imagination will get you a long way into her mind and pants. First, get into her mind, then get into her pants. To get
Mm.
into your mind, bring fun. Fun is from
Yeah.
imagination. You have imagination. Don't bring ideals.
Mm.
Don't bring decisions. Bring fun. You will know straight away if she's right for you or not,
Mm.
but bring fun. You will beat out most people every day. Treat her like a person, treat her like a human being, treat her with simple respect that you treat
Mm.
any other guy, and you'll be so far ahead of the pack. It's just sad. So respect, fun, and treat him like a person. That's where we start. We'll get further into it later and talk about genetics, real genetics, not bullshit genetics, but real tribal genetics.
Yeah.
The reason why people act like they act is basically because for millions of years it's how we survived in the savannah, and there's little things that still remain today that are strange to us, but they've actually got roots in
Mm.
real survival culture. So we'll get onto that, but take away this. She's a person. She has a story. Listen to that story and
Yeah.
basically bring the fun. And if you
Excellent.
take nothing away, take that. And don't be a dickhead.
Yes, and the thing I want to close with is very early in this talk, you did ask me to try and find out what's the negative name incels give themselves, and I did find it while we were talking. It's Melvin. They
Right.
refer as the unattractive man, and I want to close out by saying if you self-identify as an incel or think that's how other people see you, you are not a Melvin unless you choose to be. This is not true. This is not real. You are not Melvin. You are an individual. Your possibilities are basically limitless. Okay. I understand getting in this culture where it affirms certain things to you and you get a sense of belonging. It seems like it makes sense. None of it is true. You are not a Melvin unless you choose to be.
Incels is a state of mind, guys.
So we're going to leave this talk here. We will definitely be revisiting it. As AIDzee says, what we said here, spent an hour talking about, that's the start. It is the absolute first baby steps. But if you're able to do that, you are going to be so far ahead of your competition. So this is step one. We will talk about this again in the future. We hope you've got some value from it. And if you're not an incel, we hope you've found some interest in what we've talked about. We will talk about it more. Let's say goodbye to the people, AIDzee.
See us, guys. Thank you very, very much for letting us be on your device. You should subscribe to Angry and give him a nice and a like and say good things about him and tell 6 of your mates.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us. You are very nice. And thank you for letting us into your world for like an hour and a bit.
Yep. So you can find heaps of videos we've done by searching Angry Aussie on YouTube. Subscribe to the Angry Aussie podcast and whatever platform you can find it on. Just search Angry Aussie podcast, you'll find it. Social media, Twitter, etc. You will find Angry Aussie. Always reach out to us. Subscribe. Tell your friends, and we will love you for it. And we will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Love you all. See ya. Thanks.
2 second silence, and that's podcast out.
Podcast down. Hey, thank you, commenters, for being very patient with us. You're nice. I hope there was something in that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Gonna say AIDzee's looking better than I've seen him look. Thanks, Herchan. Yeah.
I thought you'd like
know,
that one. I just
good.
wanted to share that one with you.
I was
So
going
yeah,
to say, if we had time, that I scored my latest route when I was grey-green, about to die, had no teeth, and the teeth that I did have were exploding.
oh my God,
I
yes.
looked like shit. At that point, my doctor said at one stage, "Oh, mate, you got to change. You got 2 months to live." Earlier on this year, I said, I remember the time when I had 2 months to live, and he laughed and he said, when I said that, I meant 2 days. But
Yeah.
you don't say 2 days because it becomes self-fulfilling. He said, I was talking to your doctors in the hospital and they all said, yeah, he's fucked. He's going to die.
Yeah, and that's
They
five
felt,
years ago. 5 years
yeah.
ago, 10 years ago. Every now and then you're meant to be. For real, I had to kept telling AIDzee at this period that was dodgy AF. You need to message me on the regular because if I don't hear from you for 3 days, I think you're dead. I think that's the reason you haven't messaged me. It's because you're dead.
And there was a few people who would insist on calling, coming around, and I thought, oh, it's great. People are saying hello. No, people were checking on me to see if I was alive, and there was real cause for it. Just a quick anecdote. In that podcast, AIDzee got laid 3 times. Yeah, true story.
Sorry.
Very funny. Thanks, Sergio. Yeah, basically, at one stage, when you're in trouble, the doctor you do a blood test, and the doctor rings you up and says, "Oh, what are you doing today?" Oh, blah blah blah. No, come in. We need to chat. When it's real bad, when the lab rings you up and says, hi, it's the lab here, doing your blood test. What are you doing today? Should go and see your doctor now. Go now.
Yeah.
And then the doctor rings you up and says, yeah, come in. One time the lab rang me up and I thought, oh, fuck, I know what's going to happen today. And then the doctor rang me up and said, I said, yeah, I'll come in. He said, no, go to the hospital now. I'll meet you there. And I said, no, you got patients. He said, not today. And so he went there and he did the Masonic handshake because in Australia we have national health care, which is great. But you get to wait for it. You usually get to wait 4 or 6 hours, 4 or 6 hours to get in, which is fine because trust me, it's free. And there's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of treatment you get for free. So fucking be happy to wait for it. So I'm always happy to wait for it because my treatment costs a lot. Anyway, we get in there, me and the doctor, I go straight in. He does the Masonic handshake and immediately in. And then they walk me into intensive care. How fucking embarrassing. There's people dying to get intensive care. They basically get wheeled in unconscious. And I fucking walk in, I'm going, no, it was never so embarrassed in all my life. Because there's all these people waiting to die around me.
Yes.
And I lay down and go, this is ridiculous. Now, of course, I was sleeping for 20 hours a day. And apparently my blood was straw coloured and my eyes were red. Didn't know that part. Wasn't looking. Apparently my skin went yellow for a day. Then it went back again. And my kidneys failed twice. The little things. And then they put vancomycin in my it's a last ditch antibiotic and it will melt your veins. So they have to keep on moving the needle around because your veins melt. Nasty. It feels like steel wool is going through your veins.
Oh,
really
that's not
horrible.
good.
Anyway,
my favourite variant of that is times when you've been in hospital. When I've said, well, how are you going? How serious is this one? You went, oh, I was in there and it was not good and they're sticking things in me. And I said, can we get you anything else? And you jokingly said, yeah, can I have some morphine? And they said, yes. I thought, oh, no, that's not
bad.
That's bad. If they just immediately say yes to morphine, that's not
bad. And it's like, to worry then. And so many fucking times I've been around at studio angry and he says, oh, I'll give you a lift and we'll do a talkie. And I go, yeah, great. And I get in the car and he fucking drops me off at the fucking hospital.
Just trying to be helpful.
And I have to go in and say, hi, my boss dropped me off. And they went, oh, yeah, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know. And they do tests and they go, oh, shit, and take me in.
Have you found out what a Beatles fan says is in Canada and says it's 4 a.m. Beatles fan, are you insomniac or do you have to get up early for work? Because we get both. We get people in different time zones because they're insomniac. And I love that. I love that we're there for you in those times. But other people are like, no, I actually have to get up for work. I'm intrigued as to which one you are. An insomniac that we're keeping company or someone who has to get up really early for work or get home late. The other one is people like I've done live streams with Kevin Logan, who's in England, and that's like the worst time zone to correlate with Australia.
Yeah.
And he's nominated a time, and he said, we can do it this. And I look at my time, and it's like Saturday morning. I'm going, Kev, I just looked at a world time thing, and that's 4 o'clock in the morning for you. And he goes, yeah, I'm working night shift. I'll just be home. So that's technically my afternoon. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
I remember.
Beatles fan is an insomniac.
Oh, thank Christ. Thank you, Beatles fan. I worry because we've had people here who said, oh, no, I woke up because I'm a fan. And you just go, oh, dude, I'm so sorry.
I feel bad. If someone got out of bed specially for us, I do feel bad. But if you're an insomniac and we're keeping you company, I like that.
Fucking sweet. I've just put my thumb off and it was off camera. There you go. Oh, it's gone.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to bid you fine people in the live chat farewell. You've been awesome. And even though we spent that hour not directly relating to chat, was keeping an eye on it. Thank you for being part of the whole thing. Look, we'll see you in later. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button, which means after somewhere between 2 and 10 seconds, we'll disappear. But we'll say bye for now.
Thank you so much.